And he's right. This is a culture of violence. We love sex, guns, and drugs for entertainment purposes. In real life, we love to watch it on TV, in the movie theater. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Hey! Welcome back to the COD Show Podcast, Call of Duty News Update. I'm the host of the COD Show Podcast, Diddy Onasis, aka Onasis. Kill him! That's right, Onasis. Kill him! Yeah. Got a couple things that I want to discuss before we get into this gaming update. All right, I'll probably cut this video up, separate it a little bit, okay? Because this is a serious matter. All right, I'm pretty sure all of you are aware of the tragic events that happened in El Paso, Texas over this weekend. All right, unfortunate, okay? My heart goes out to the whole state of Texas. Shout out to my sister, my uncles, you know, my whole fam out there in Texas. For those that that have been involved with this tragedy, meaning that you lost a family member or you live in that community, I want to be very, very careful. I don't want to seem insensitive when I get into these topics that I just want to discuss really briefly. Okay, so please, my heart is in the right place. Okay, but let's get into it. Okay. In wake of the unwarranted deadly terrorist attack by Patrick Crusius inside of a El Paso, Texas Walmart, Republican Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick places part of the blame on the video game industry, particularly the game Call of Duty. All right. Here's what Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick had to say about the link between the terrorist Patrick Crusius and Call of Duty. Let's go to the clip.
And I look at this evil act, and let's condemn it for what it is. Evil. And I say, how long are we going to let, for example, and ignore at the federal level particularly, where they can do something about the video game industry? You know, in this manifesto that we believe is from the shooter, this manifesto, he talks about living out his super soldier fantasy on Call of Duty. We know that the video game industry is bigger than the movie industry and the music industry combined. And there have been studies that say it impacts people and studies that says it does not. But I look at the common denominators as a 60-some-year-old father and grandfather myself. What's changed in this country? We've always had guns. We've always had evil. But what's changed where we see this rash of shooting? And I see a video game industry that teaches young people to kill. You know, in his manifesto, he said this is not a Republican or Democrat thing because he was concerned about robots and environment and immigrants. Obviously, a hate crime, I think, in my view, against immigrants from this young man. Just my view. We haven't had an official report on that.
All right. So that was the Lieutenant Governor's take on the terrorist attack in El Paso. I just want to say, I want to clear this up. I want to make it very, very clear that this podcast, this channel, this platform, the COD Show Podcast, me, myself, Diddy Onasis, I am not a highly political individual. This is not a political platform. But what this is a platform that's gamer friendly. This is a Call of Duty friendly platform. All right. What Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick had to say about the manifesto of the terrorist attack, the terrorist Patrick Crusius, linking it to Call of Duty and violent video games. I think that's some very, very dangerous rhetoric. But highly misinformed people spew highly misinformed information. I'm a victim of that myself. I do it all day, every day. You know, I'm not above that, but I am open to being corrected. Okay. And again, this is not an attack on Dan Patrick. You know, he may be a phenomenal human being outside of those statements he made about what happened in El Paso and linking it to video games, particularly Call of Duty. I don't know that. Well, what I do know is I'm just going to give you my opinion on it and what happened, what I think about it. But before I do that, I want to get into what the Commander-in-Chief Trump had to actually say about the terrorist Patrick Crusius. I'm messing this man's name up. I'm sorry. I want to get into what he thought about it because he also linked this terrorist attack to violent video games. All right, let's check out what the president. Well, let's check out what Trump had to say about it. Kill him.
Second, we must stop the glorification of violence in our society. This includes the gruesome and grisly video games that are now commonplace. It is too easy today for troubled youth to surround themselves with a culture that celebrates violence. We must stop or substantially reduce this, and it has to begin immediately. Cultural change is hard, but each of us can choose to build a culture that celebrates the inherent worth and dignity of every human life. That's what we have to do. Third, we must reform our mental health laws to better identify mentally disturbed individuals who may commit acts of violence and make sure those people not only get treatment, but when necessary, involuntary confinement.
And that was President Trump, his ideas and thoughts. I don't know if those were his ideas and thoughts because he has a speechwriter, okay? I don't know if he thinks his own thoughts or that, whatever, man, whatever. I have no idea what that man's doing and what that man's thinking. I know he is a public figure. Him and Dan Patrick are public figures. They have a certain image to uphold in a certain point of view, in a certain agenda, you know. So I'm not really particular on, you know, I'm not going to really criticize those individuals. I just want to react to it. I just want to say that I don't think that video games have a link between violent individuals. You know, I've been playing games like Double Dragon, games like Contra, Kung Fu from Nintendo, you know, all the way up to now, which is Call of Duty. And I'm not a violent person, but I don't understand how you couldn't talk about or speak on the violent entertainment industry. And he's right, this is a culture of violence. We love sex, guns, and drugs for entertainment purposes. In real life, we love to watch it on TV, in the movie theater. You know, the Marvel movies are great, but let's be honest, we love the violence. We love the violence. We get off on seeing Iron Man shoot 1,000,000 missiles out his arms. You know, we get off on seeing Thor smash somebody in the head with his hammer. We get off on seeing not Iron Man, what's my man's name? Wolverine doing his thing with his claws. We get off on all of these guys. What's my guy named Hulk? We get off on Hulk smashing through buildings, man. We love it. We love to see it. It's beautiful. Sex, drugs, and violence, man. But we have to draw the line. And I think at the tail end of these guys' statement, they both talked about mental health issues. You really have to be a sick individual or a mentally disturbed individual to actually do something, to commit a terrorist attack the way that guy did, a mass shooting in the Walmart. You have to be mentally disturbed. A video game has nothing to do with that. You are taught hatred, you are taught violence. No matter what color you are, you picked it up from somewhere. You didn't come out the womb, all right? You came out the womb as you. But somewhere along the line, you learn to be violent, you learn to be sexual, you learn to be addicted to drugs, or is it hereditary? I have no idea. I don't want to spew a whole bunch of information that I don't really know about, but I'm just saying my opinion. I don't think that video games have any type of link other than he wanted to live out a Call of Duty style terrorist attack. That's the only thing that you can really link that to. The video game didn't cause him to do what he did. No, just like back in the day, rap music did not influence. Well, let me take. I don't want to say it didn't influence. Rap music to a certain degree did glorify violence. It did. I can't sugarcoat that. But Call of Duty does glorify violence because that's entertaining and that's what sells, and that's just what we like. But I don't think it caused the terrorist attack. All right. I was on Charlie Intel's Twitter yesterday. Showed a graph. A graph. On one side, it had. Let's pull this up. Let's pull this bad boy up. On one side of the graph, we had video game revenue per person estimated for 2019. Okay, so that means that this is the amount of money that individuals in that country spent on violent video games or video games. I don't want to get that wrong. I think it just says video games. All right. On the other side, violent gun deaths. Okay, per 100,000 people. And you want to know who was at the top of that list for video game purchases? South Korea, followed by China, followed by the US, then the United Kingdom, then Canada, then Germany, France, Spain, Italy, Japan. Okay, on the violent gun deaths, top dog, it's not even close, the United States. President Trump was correct about his statement about a violent culture. This is the most violent nation on earth. All right. My opinion, I might be wrong. I love this country. I'm a United States citizen. Citizen. I pay taxes, fam. All right, but we gotta call a spade a spade. You know, it's just something. It's just something in us. It's something in our DNA, man. We just love violence, sex, and drugs, man. But anyway, that's just my take on it. But I don't think it's a link. It's not directly linked that video games cause violence. I don't think that's possible, or because it's not even close. If you look at this chart, you know, if this chart is correct, who knows? Who knows what's real and what's not real, man? I'm getting up out of this, man. We get too serious here on the COD Show podcast, Call of Duty News Update. This is not a serious show, but I just wanted to get my take on it, give you my spiel, give you my thoughts. All right, I'm Diddy Onasis, COD Show podcast host. But as always, man, y'all leave y'all comments in the comment section. We'll continue discussing on Twitter. Hit me up on Twitter, Instagram. You already know what time it is. The COD Show podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. But I've been your host, all right? Diddy Onasis, the COD Show podcast, Call of Duty News Update. I'll be back with some the latest update from update 1.22 later on, all right? Appreciate y'all kicking it with me. Sub, like, share, all right? Thank y'all. Peace, 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 peace. Oh, yeah, man, my bad. And as always, live life, show love, be great, and always keep the kill feed lit. It's been your guy. Peace, peace, peace.